Hello everybody, this video is gonna be a little bit different than the other videos. It's a video where I also speak and I'm not just playing the violin. I'm making this video because some of you have requested me to do a video tutorial about vibrato. Now, before jumping to the topic, a little disclaimer. I am not a violin teacher, I am a violin student. And the purpose of my videos is to share with you my journey as a student and see the way I progress as I learn. So this is just to say that you can probably find better video tutorials about vibrato out there, or better YouTube channels, or even better, you can find a teacher that can follow you and can help you to understand how to do vibrato and how to improve your technique. Saying that, I have no problem to share what I know about vibrato and making a video tutorial. So I can share with you my tips and tricks as I know and as I do my vibrato. Vibrato is a technique that where you pick a note and instead of playing the note statically, you rapidly change the pitch up and down to produce a sound that is something like this. Without vibrato, it would be something like. You hear the difference? There are three types of vibrato. There's the arm vibrato, where your arm, the entire arm moves, so the impulse of this oscillation comes from your arm. There's the wrist vibrato, where you move your wrist like this. And when you move your wrist, it's like, you need to think like knocking on a door, like this. And there's even the finger vibrato, where it's your finger that moves in order to produce vibrato. And what you usually move is like the last joint of your finger, something like this. Not sure the camera is picking this movement, but anyway. So, when we actually play, we never use these three types of vibrato alone. Like there's never like only a finger vibrato, or only a wrist vibrato, or only a arm vibrato. But we usually use all three together, and it's like multi-dimensional space. You need to find the right balance between like the movement of your arm and the wrist and finger together in order to produce a good vibrato, and also in order to change the width and the speed of the vibrato, and to adapt the vibrato to the piece that you're trying to play. So what it happens usually is that your vibrato impulse starts from the arm. You need to think that it's your arm that is moving, and then the wrist is doing this movement like knocking on the door as a consequence of your arm that is moving. And at the same time, it's also your joint of your finger needs to be relaxed, and in order to do this movement. So if you lock your finger, like if you're tense on your fingers or your wrist, you're not going to produce a good vibrato. So really the secret of a good vibrato is just to not overthink too much about it and simply relax your arm, wrist and finger. I think a good exercise to start learning vibrato is really to find a way to relax your arm, wrist and finger. So you can probably do this. You put away your bow and you just try to move on the fingerboard, like this, and find a way to relax your arm, relax everything. Because at the end, this is what you do when you vibrate. You see, like when I go down my finger, the joint of my finger is relaxed, so it's naturally doing this movement, something like this. When I go down, it's doing this. When I go up, it's doing this. And when you feel like you're relaxed, you can pick up the bow and try to produce a sound, and you would probably produce something ugly like this. And if you get to this point, after that you can try to speed up the movement and reduce the width of your range. So you are approaching to the real vibrato, starting from something that is too much, you know? So and as you lock the note in a almost like a fixed position and you keep oscillating, you're gonna produce vibrato. But just one tip, don't try to practice vibrato in first position, because it's one of those things that it's harder to produce in first position. Just try to go in third position, because in third position your arm tends to be more relaxed, because you can find, you know, some help from the body of your violin, you know, from the here that you only have the neck, and here your arm can be more relaxed. So try, first of all, try to learn vibrato using the second finger in third position. Once you have acquired the technique, it takes time to settle that in your mind. So don't rush, take your time, keep practicing, and then you will see your progress. Another little tip about the mechanic of the vibrato: when you oscillate, you pick a sound, and we usually vibrate to the flatter note. We never go sharper. This is because the ear is picking up better the sharper sounds, the higher frequencies. And if we oscillate equally, like we pick a note, if we oscillate equally to the flatter side or to the sharper side, the ear would perceive a sound that is too sharp. I'll give you an example, like this is a he. If I try to vibrate equally up and down, I would produce a sound like this. It sounds too sharp. Now I'm trying to vibrate, thinking that I'm going only to the flatter note. And that sounds better with a better intonation. And another tip is, don't try to adjust intonation using vibrato, because vibrato is like the spice on the food, and if the food is bad and you're gonna add spice to fix it, that's just bad food with some spice. Instead, your intonation comes first, and when you pick up the note, you can vibrate the note, and that is adding spice to nice food. So another thing to say is that vibrato is never the same. There's not like constant width or a constant speed. You can change the speed of your vibrato. You can do a slow vibrato or a fast vibrato. Something like this is slow, and you can increase the speed depending on what kind of color you want to add to the music while you're playing. And not only the speed, but you can change also the width. Like you can have a short vibrato that is slightly changing the pitch, or you can have a larger and warmer vibrato where you change the amplitude, the width of the pitch. So guys, these are my tips on vibrato. I hope you find that useful and hopefully you learned something. Let me know in the comments below if you want more videos like this, and keep practicing. Bye!